A new commentary. Discourse number 39, given in Bombay, India.
These techniques are concerned with emptiness. These are most delicate, most subtle. Because even to conceive emptiness seems impossible. Buddha has used all these four techniques for his disciples and bhikkhus. Because of these four techniques, he was misunderstood totally. Buddhism got completely uprooted from Indian soil just because of these four techniques. Because Buddha said there is no God. Because if there is God, you cannot be totally empty. You may not be there, but the God will be there. The divine will be there. And your mind can deceive you. Because your divine may be just your mind playing tricks. Buddha said there is no soul. Because if there is any soul, Atma, then you can hide your ego behind it. Your ego will be difficult to leave you. If you feel that there is some self within you, and then you cannot be totally empty, because you will be there. Just to prepare ground for these techniques of emptiness, Buddha denied everything. He was not an atheist, but he appears to be an atheist because he says there is no God. He says there is no soul. He says there is nothing substantial in existence. Existence is empty. Just to prepare ground for these techniques. And once you enter emptiness, you would have entered all. The divine you may call it, God you may call it, or Atma, soul, whatsoever you like. But you can enter the truth only when you are totally empty. Nothing should be left of you. Hindus thought that Buddha is just destroying religion. Because he is teaching irreligion. And people who heard him, even they couldn't follow. Because whenever you go somewhere, you go to seek something. You never go to seek emptiness. So those who heard him, they were seeking something. Nirvana, moksha, the other world, heaven, truth. But something they were seeking. They had come to gratify their ultimate desire, to find the truth. That's the last desire. And unless you are completely desireless, you cannot know the truth. The very condition of knowing is to be totally desireless. So one thing is certain, you cannot desire truth. If you desire, the very desire will become the barrier. Masters had been there before Buddha who were teaching don't desire, be desireless. But they were talking about God, about the kingdom of God, heaven, paradise, moksha, ultimate freedom and liberation. And they were talking that be desireless. Buddha felt that you cannot be desireless if there is something to be attained. You may pretend that you are desireless. But this pretense of desirelessness is also for some desire to be fulfilled. It is false. Because masters say that you cannot attain to ultimate bliss with desire. And you want to attain ultimate bliss. So you start being desireless. You try to be desireless so that you can attain the ultimate bliss. But the desire is there. You are trying to be desireless just because of a desire. So Buddha says there is no God to be attained. Even if you desire, there is no one to be attained. Be desireless. There is no moksha somewhere. There is no goal. Life is meaningless and goalless. His emphasis is just beautiful and wonderful. No one has tried that way. He destroys all the goals just to help you to be desireless. If the goals are there, how you can be desireless? And if you are not desireless, you will not attain to the goals. This is the paradox. He destroyed all the goals. Not that those goals are not there. They are there. And they can be attained. But if you want to attain them, if you desire to attain them, it is impossible. The very basic condition is you must be desireless. Then the ultimate happens to you. So Buddha says there is nothing to be desired. Your desires are futile. You drop all desires. When there is no desire, you will be empty. Just imagine, if there is no desire within you, what you will be? You are nothing but a bundle of desires. All desires gone, simply you disappear. Not that you will not exist, you will exist as an emptiness. You will be there just like a vacant room. No one is there. It's sunya, a nothingness. Buddha has called this nothingness anatma, anatta, no soulness. You will not feel any sense of that I am. Just emptiness, no I to it. Because I is nothing but accumulated desires, condensed desires, crystallized desires. Many, many desires have become your I. Just as physicists say that if you analyze matter, then matter is nothing but atoms. There is nothing to join those atoms. Each atom is surrounded by vacant space. You have one rock in your hand. There is no rock. Just atoms of energy. And between two atoms, infinite space. Even a rock is spacious, porous. They say that soon we will be able to pull that space out from anything. H.G. Wells has written one story in 21st century. One passenger starts calling for coolies on a big station. Other passengers who are traveling in the same compartment with this passenger, they cannot understand because he had no luggage. Just a packet of cigarettes and a small matchbox. That's all his luggage. And he goes on calling coolies. A big group has gathered. Some passenger asks, why you are calling? You don't have anything. You can carry this matchbox and this pocket of cigarettes yourself. What are you going to do with this 2 dozen coolies? That passenger laughs and he says, try. You try that matchbox. That matchbox is not ordinary. One railway engine is condensed into it. It is possible soon. The space has been pulled out. And then it can be again, the space can be forced in and the engine will take its shape again. Big things can be carried without much problem. The weight will remain the same. Their shape, their form will become smaller and smaller. A matchbox can contain a railway engine. But the weight will remain the same because space has no weight. You can pull out the space, you have not pulled the weight. The weight will remain the same because the weight is contained by the atoms, not by the space. They say the whole earth can be condensed into the form, the shape of one atom. But the weight will remain the same. And if you pull apart all these atoms, if you take one atom out and then another and then another and you take all the atoms out, nothing is left behind. So matter is just an appearance. Buddha has analyzed the human mind in a similar way. He is one of the greatest scientists possible. He says your ego is nothing but just desires, atomic desires. Millions of desires are there, they make you. You go and pulling one desire by one, a moment will come when there is no desire, you have disappeared. Just space. Just vacant space remains. And this Buddha says is nirvana. This vibration of your being completely, you no more. And Buddha says this is silence. Unless you are completely gone, silence cannot descend in you. Buddha says you cannot be silent because you are the problem. You cannot be peaceful because you are the disease. And you can never be blissful because you are the only barrier for the bliss. Can come any moment, but you are the barrier. When you are not, bliss will be there. When you are not, peace will be there. When you are not, silence will be there. When you are not, ecstasy will be there. When your inner being is totally empty, this emptiness itself is bliss. That's why Buddha's teachings are called Sunyavad, the philosophy of emptiness, or the philosophy of zero. These 4 techniques are to attain this state of being. Or you can call it a state of no being. There is no difference. You can give it a positive term, as Hindus and Jains have called it soul. You can give it a more appropriate but negative term, as Buddha have called it anatma, no selfness, or no soulness. It depends on you. But whatsoever you call, there is no one to be named and called. Just infinite space. That's why I say these are the ultimate techniques. The most delicate, the most difficult, but the most wonderful. And if you can work with any of these 4 techniques, you will gain the unattainable. The first technique, suppose your positive form to be an empty room with walls of skin empty. Suppose your positive form to be an empty room with walls of skin, but inside everything empty. This is one of the most beautiful techniques. Just sit in a meditative posture, relaxed. Alone, your backbone is straight and the whole body is relaxed, as if the whole body is hanging on the backbone. Then close your eyes. For a few moments, simply go on feeling relaxed, more relaxed, becoming calm and calmer and calmer. For a few moments, just to be in tune. And then suddenly start feeling your body is just walls of skin. And inside nothing. There is no one inside, the house is vacant. You will feel sometimes thoughts passing. Clouds of thoughts moving. But don't think that they belong to you. You are not. Just think they are roaming in a vacant sky. They don't belong to anyone. They don't have any roots. And really this is the case. Just as clouds move in the sky, they don't have any roots and they don't belong to the sky. They simply roam in the sky. They come and they go. And the sky remains untouched, uninfluenced. Feel your body is just walls of skin. And there is no one inside. Still thoughts will continue just because of old habits, momentum. Old cooperation with thoughts, they will go on coming. Just think they are rootless clouds moving within the space. They don't belong to you, they don't belong to anybody else. There is no one to whom they can belong, you are empty. It will be difficult because of old habit, nothing else. Your mind would like to catch some thought, be identified with it, move with it, enjoy it, indulge in it. Resist. Just say there is no one to indulge. There is no one to fight. There is no one to do anything with this thought. Within few days, few weeks, thoughts will slow down. They will come less and less. The clouds will start disappearing. Or even if they come, there will be big gaps of cloudless sky when there will be no thought. One thought will pass. Then another will not come for a period. Then another will come, and then there will again be an interval. In those intervals, you will know for the first time what emptiness is. And the very glimpse of it will fill you with such deep bliss you cannot imagine. Really, it is difficult to say anything about it, because whatsoever is said in language will refer to you, and you will not be there. If I say you will be filled with happiness, this is nonsense. You will not be there, so how I can say you will be filled with happiness? Happiness will be there. Just within the four walls of your skin, happiness will be there vibrating, and you will not be there. A deep silence will descend on you, because if you are not, no one can create disturbance. You always go on thinking that somebody else is disturbing you. The traffic noise on the road, children playing around you, the wife working in the kitchen. Somebody is disturbing you. Nobody is disturbing you. You are the cause of disturbance, because you are there. Anything can disturb you. If you are not there, then disturbances will come and pass through the emptiness without touching it. You are there, very touchy. A wound, anything, immediately hurts you. I have heard about one scientific story. Once it happened, after the Third World War, man has died. Now there is no one on the earth. Trees are there, hills are there. And one big tree thought to create great noise, as it used to create in the past. It fell down from a big rock. It did everything that was possible, but there was no noise. Because for noise, your ears are needed. For sound, your ears are needed. If you are not there, sound cannot be created. It is impossible. I am speaking here. I am making sound because you are. If no one is here, I may go on speaking. Sound cannot be created. But I can create because I myself will hear it. If no one is there to hear, sound cannot be created, because sound is a reaction of your ears. If no one is there on the earth, the sun will rise, but the sun cannot create light. It seems absurd. We cannot conceive it, because we always think the sun will rise and there will be light. No, your eyes are needed. Without your eyes, the sun cannot create light. It will go on rising, it will be futile. The rays will pass in emptiness. There will be no one who can react and can say this is light. Light is a phenomena of your eyes, you react. Sound is a phenomena of your ears, you react. What do you think? The rose is there in the garden. If no one passes, there is no perfume in it. A rose alone cannot create perfume. Impossible. Your nose is needed. Someone to react and interpret that this is perfume. This is rose perfume. However hard a rose tries, without a nose, it will not be a rose at all. The disturbance on the street is not there. It is within your ego. Your ego reacts and says this is disturbance. It is your interpretation. Sometimes in a different mood you may enjoy it, and then it will not be a disturbance. You may enjoy it in a different mood, and then you will say this is beautiful. What music? But in its sad moment, even music will become disturbance. But if you are not there, just a space, emptiness, there can neither be disturbance nor music. Things will just pass through you, unnoticed. Because unstruck, there is no wound to react. There is no one to respond. Not even an echo will be created. This is what Buddha calls nirvana. And this technique can help you. Suppose your positive form, your passive form, to be an empty room, with walls of skin, empty. Sit in a passive state, inactive, not doing anything. Because whenever you do something, the doer comes in. Really there is no doer. Only because of doing, you imagine. Buddha is difficult, only because of this. He says a man is walking. Only because of linguistic forms, problems have arisen. We say a man is walking. If you analyze this sentence, it means there is someone who is walking. And Buddha says there is only a process of walking. There is no one who is walking. You are laughing. Because of language, it appears that there is someone who is laughing. Buddha says there is laughter. No one inside who is laughing. When you laugh, remember this, and find out one who laughs. You will never find. There is simply laughter. There is no one behind it, doing it. When you are sad, there is no one sad, simply sadness. Look at this. Simply sadness. It is a process. Simply laughter. Simply happiness. Unhappiness. But there is no one behind it. Only because of language. We go on thinking in terms of two. If there is movement, we say there must be someone who has moved the mover. We cannot conceive movement alone. But have you seen ever the mover? Have you ever seen the one who laughs? Buddha says there is life, the process of life. No one inside who is alive. And then there is death. No one dying. For Buddha, you are not a duality. This creates a duality. I am speaking. It seems that I am someone who is speaking. Buddha says there is a speaking. There is no one who is making the speech. It is a process, it belongs to no one. But for us it is difficult because our mind is deeply rooted into dualism. Whenever we think some activity, we conceive some actor inside, some doer. That's why passive, inactive form is good in meditation, because then you can fall into emptiness more easily. Buddha says don't meditate, be in meditation. And the difference is vast. I will repeat, Buddha says don't meditate, be in meditation. Because if you meditate, the doer has come. You will go on thinking you are meditating. The meditation has become an act. Buddha says be in meditation. And that means be totally passive, don't do anything, and don't think that there is any doer. That's why sometimes, when the doer is lost in the doing, you feel a sudden upsurge of happiness. That comes because you have become one. A dancer. A moment comes when dance takes over and the dancer disappears. A sudden blessing, a sudden beatitude, a sudden ecstasy. He is filled with unknown bliss. What has happened? Only the doing remained and the doer was no more. On the war front, sometimes soldiers attain to very deep bliss. It is difficult to conceive because they are so near death. Any moment they can die. In the beginning it makes them afraid. They tremble and fear. But you cannot continue trembling and fearing every day, continuously. One becomes accustomed. One accepts death. Then the fear disappears. And when death is so near, and any wrong movement, and you may be dead immediately, the doer is forgotten. And only duty remains. Only doing remains. And one has to be so much deeply in the doing that one cannot go on remembering that I am. That I am will create trouble. You will miss. You will not be totally in the activity. And life is at stake. You cannot afford duality. Action becomes total. When action is total, you suddenly feel you are happy as you have never been before. Warriors have known very deep springs of joy that ordinary life cannot give to you. That may be the reason why war is so appealing. That may be the reason why Kshatriyas, warriors, have attained to moksha more than Brahmins. Because Brahmins were always thinking and thinking, mental activity. 24 Tirthankaras of Jains, Ram, Krishna, Buddha, they are all Kshatriyas, warriors. They have attained to the highest peak. No businessman is ever hard to attain that. He lives in such security where he can afford to be doer. Whatsoever he is doing, it is never total. Profit cannot be a total activity. You can enjoy it, but it is never a life and death problem. You can play with it, but nothing is at stake. It is a game. Businessman is in a game, the game of money. The game is not very dangerous. So businessmen always almost remain mediocre. Even a gambler may attain to higher peaks of bliss than a businessman, because the gambler moves into dangers. He stakes everything that he has got. In that moment of total stake, the doer is lost. That may be the cause why gambling is so appealing. War is so appealing. As far as I understand, whatsoever is appealing, there must be somewhere lurking ecstasy behind it. Somewhere, some hint of the unknown. Somewhere, some glimpse of the deep mystery of life must be hidden there. Otherwise, nothing can be appealing. This passivity, any posture that you take in meditation should be passive. Buddha sitting. In India, we have evolved the most passive asana, the most passive posture, that is Siddhasana. And the beauty of it is that in a Siddhasana posture, just like as Buddha is sitting, the body is in the deepest passive state. Even while lying, you are not so passive. Even while sleeping, your posture is not so passive, it is active. Why? A Siddhasana is so passive? For so many reasons. The body is locked, closed, and body has an electric circle. When the circle is closed and locked, the electric moves round and round inside the body. It is not leaking out. No, it is a proved scientific phenomenon. That in certain postures your body is leaking energy. When the body is leaking energy, the body has to create energy continuously. It is active. The body dynamo has to work continuously because you are leaking. When energy is leaking outside body, the inside body has to be active to replace it. So the most passive state will be when no energy is leaking. Now in the Western countries, particularly in England, they treat patients just by making a circle of their body electricity. In many hospitals now those techniques are being used and very helpful. A person lies on the floor on a net of wires. Those net of wires are just to make a circle of his body electricity. Just half an hour is enough and he will feel so relaxed. so filled with energy, so strong, that he cannot believe that when he had come he was so weak. In our old cultures, people used to sleep in a particular direction in the night, just so that energy doesn't leak out, because the earth has a magnetic force. If you use that magnetic force, then you have to lie in a particular direction. Then that magnetic force in the earth will magnetize you the whole night. If you are lying opposite to it, then that magnetic force is fighting with you. Your energy will be discharged. So many people in the morning feel very much depressed, very much weakened. This should not be so, because the sleep is meant to rejuvenate you, to give you more energy. But there are many people who are more energetic when they go to bed, and in the morning they are just dead. In many reasons, this may be one, they are lying in a wrong direction. They may be lying against the earth magnet, then they will feel dissipated. So now scientists say that body has an electric circuit. It can be locked. And they have studied many yogis sitting in Siddhasana. In that state, body is leaking minimum. Energy is preserved. When energy is preserved, the inner batteries need not work. There is no need for any inner activity. The body is passive. In this passivity, you can become empty more easily than if you are active. This Siddhasana posture, your backbone is straight, and the whole body is also straight. Now many studies have been done. When your body is straight, totally straight, you are least influenced by gravitation of the earth. That's why if you sit in a posture which is inconvenient, which you call inconvenient, the inconvenience is caused because your body is affected by more gravitation. If you sit leaning to one side, your more body is pulled by the gravitation. If you are sitting straight, then the gravitation is least effective, because it can pull only your backbone, nothing else. That's why it is difficult to sleep while standing. It is almost impossible to sleep while standing in a Siddhasana on your head. For sleep, you have to lie down on the ground. Why? Because then the earth has the maximum pull on you. And maximum pull makes you unconscious. Minimum pull makes you aware. Maximum pull makes you unconscious. For sleep, you have to lie down on the ground. So the earth gravitation touches whole of your body.